My name is Kwabena Chenchen. Many thanks for joining us here on News Desk. Now, a military inquiry that investigated some 23 soldiers for their roles in the shooting and killing of one person at Kasoa Millennium City last year has cleared them of any wrongdoing. The investigation concluded that the soldiers were only defending themselves when they shot at 3 people during a demolition exercise by the 21st Century Construction Company. The demolition exercise turned bloody when one person, Michael Dakun, was reportedly killed while 2 others sustained injuries after military personnel accompanying the demolition team fired warning shots to disperse residents who were protesting against the exercise. The military subsequently set up an investigative team to ascertain the actual cause of Michael's death. My colleague Derek Kasoa was there last year and witnessed the entire incident, including that very shooting that led to the loss of that one life. And Derek is joining me now in studio to tell us a lot more about what happened at the time and what the situation is now. Derek, many thanks for your time here on News Desk.
You're welcome.
So let's recount the issue properly. What's the basis for this whole thing? I mean, what brought about this whole chaos?
Well, last year, September, I think the first week of September, I had a call that there was this press conference that was to be held by the Millennium City residents, and so I had to go there and cover. So I got there around 7:30 a.m. because the news conference was supposed to start at 8 a.m. When I got there, I realized that the chief of the area, Seriki Tahiru, was there together with his people, and then they had just come there to speak to the press. Later on, it became a procession of a sort to a site that, according to them, had a building that was to be demolished by the owner of the 21st Century Construction Limited, one Mr. Kofi Asma. And so, in the course of their journey towards the place, they saw some military vehicles approaching and some military men in the vehicles as well. And so at a point in time, they had to stop, and then the military men asked the people to retreat. The people defied the orders. They didn't retreat. They still wanted to go on because, according to them, their properties had been demolished for a very long time. They say they had been going through that for a long time. They have properties they have put up, which, according to them, they had genuinely acquired, and so the properties were being demolished just like that. So they were protesting. They wanted to tell the owner of the 21st Century Construction Limited that they didn't want to go through that trauma anymore. Some way, somehow, shots were fired in the air. 2 warning shots actually were fired in the air. The crowd dispersed, and then I had to go on air to report what was happening there. The next thing I realized, I heard in a can, Obiewu, to where somebody is dead. And then I turned and then I only saw that Michael Darko, the late, who actually was supposed to protect me. Because when I got there, I told Tahiru that I have a feeling it may get violent. Because you always say that anytime you want to protest, the police stops you. And seeing that you and your people are actually saying that this time you wouldn't want to be stopped, it may get violent, and if anything happens to me, you'll be blamed. So he gave me 2 guys, Abdul and then Michael. So Michael was guarding me on the right and Abdul was on my left. So when I had the call to report on what was happening, I had to run, and that was when I realized that Michael had been shot. Initially, we thought he was dead. Later on in the day, we heard he was in a coma. 3 days later, he gave up the ghost. He died.
So, from the account you gave, it suggests that there was nothing to provoke such a response from the military, or unless, of course, I'm missing something here.
Well, the people didn't pelt the soldiers with stones. Because
from what we are told, that they were only acting in self-defense. That's according to the investigations, the reports of this investigative piece.
The people were asked to retreat. They defied the orders. But the people didn't throw stones at the military men, neither were they wielding any sticks or any guns to attack the soldiers. That's what I saw.
Could it be that between the period when you moved out to go make this call and come back, something might have happened that you probably missed?
When I was reporting, I was actually running backwards because I was afraid that I might also be hit. So I couldn't run facing my direction. I was running with my back towards the direction. So I was actually watching what was going on because I was reporting at the same time. So I was watching what was going on and I was running backwards at the same time. Nothing amiss happened.
So these three persons, you speak of Michael Darko, he was the person who was shot and killed, and two others. Do we know the status of these other two who sustained injuries at the time?
Well, the other guy who sustained injuries, sustained an injury to his leg, and he's fine now. But Michael, unfortunately, was shot in the head, and so he lost his life. And I followed up the story to an extent. The family at a point in time wanted justice to be done. They said they would go to court if nothing is done about what has happened to them. It actually delayed the burial of Michael. Michael had to be kept in the morgue for more than 3 months because they were waiting to hear some sort of response from the military or from the police on that particular issue. Nothing like that happened. And so they had to delay Michael's burial for a while. And the people who were following up on the cases, the police commander who was at post at Millennium City at that time, he's been transferred. And the one who was also at Kasoa has also been transferred. And when this thing happened, whilst following up, I was asking questions, I was speaking to people. And one thing kept coming up, that anytime something like this happens, the police officers who follow up on the case are usually transferred. When I spoke to the police officer who was then at the Millennium City, he said for him as a policeman, he feels that he can be transferred at any time. And so he didn't think that he was transferred because of what happened at Millennium City. So that is where we are now. The family still wants justice. I spoke to the chief of the area, Seliki Tahiru, not too long ago about the report. He has his own misgivings about the report. He says he doesn't understand why, even if the soldiers were acting in self-defense, he didn't understand why they had to come in with fire and bullets and all of that.
Okay. Derek, many thanks for that update. And Derek Sam reported on that very situation last year. And it was a pretty bloody one, I do remember. And he did tell us a lot of things that happened at the time. And he's been sharing with us what really the situation there is and what led to the death of this person. But now we are being told that based on the investigations that the military has conducted, these 23 persons, these 23 military officers who were said to have been part of this have been exonerated. We are told that the act was in self-defense, the shooting of these three persons, one of whom we are told has died. We are told is in self-defense. But let's now take a listen to the public relations of the Ghana Military Force. And I'm speaking of Colonel Agrekwashi, who's been speaking to my colleague Joseph Opoku-Gakpo on reasons why those 23 persons have been exonerated.
Do you know that particular incident? Joy FM went to lay ambush for us. Joy FM knew that the soldiers were going there. And so why would Joy FM go and lay ambush for military people?
We actually got the hints and then we rushed to the scene. Not that we laid ambush. I'm not sure
even before. Yes. So you see, we also do our own investigations and found out that you went to lay ambush for us. So you even were preempting that these soldiers will come and misbehave. So even when they go there, somebody could even instigate them because they were trying so against them. But that one, nobody reported that. The people were throwing stone against the troops, and nobody reported that one. So that one, what do we say?
No, so the point is that the military guy actually didn't do anything wrong from what
they went there to perform a duty. It's not that they came from somewhere. It's Kamala patrols that way. They went there to perform.
The actions led to the death of someone.
No, it's rather unfortunate. And so this job that you saw some people fall. So what about if the person falls and then he dies? Would we say that the prayer they were doing was a wrong thing? So as for death, we can't run away from it, and we don't know how we are going to die. But nobody will be happy if somebody dies as a result of what he is doing. And so we don't take pride in the fact that somebody has died because we went to conduct an exercise. No, that is a very unfortunate situation.
So the investigations have shown that they were really not responsible for any bad acts. Actually.
No, the people went there to perform a duty, and there were exchanges. People I don't know the details proper as to what actual transfer. Maybe the meeting place will be the best to give us the full. I don't have the full detail, but what I know is that they were on official duty there, and some of the locals were throwing stones at them, and somebody fired. But the guy who died, as to whether he died as a result of a gunshot, for now I cannot tell.
But the personnel who are responsible are still within the service. No action has been taken against them.
No, what? No, if I send somebody to go and perform a duty and something goes wrong, what sort of action do I have to? I can't dismiss them from the service because if they have not asked them to go and perform the duty, that incident would have happened. So, so you can't dismiss them from the armed forces. But you look at it. If there were excesses, yes, then you punish them accordingly. But the type of punishment the media is expecting, it might not be the type of punishment that will be.
Has any punishment been meted out at all from what?
That one is within our circus, and so we know how to deal with our people when they do things outside their the tax that is given them.
So that was my colleague Joseph Opogapo in an interview there with Colonel Agri-Kwashi, the Public Relations Officer of the Ghana Armed Forces, and you heard him justify quite a number of things there. But I do have here with me Joseph Opogapo, who recently visited the area again and has brought us this very update. So Joseph, many thanks for joining us.
Thanks very much.
So clearly I'm not sure the community will be too happy with this.
They are not.
What has been the reaction so far?
They are not. You would recall Colonel Kwashi making the point that the community first attacked the military guys who were there with stones, and so then they had to reply by using force, and led to the death. But a few other things even before we get to the comment that we've gathered from the military police on investigations. In fact, this interview I had with Colonel Kwashi was done about 1.5 to 2 months ago, and this was after we had gotten the information that the military police guys had concluded their investigations and actually cleared these people. A few things that we found out was that when the military men left base and went for this operation and came back, the understanding is that they told the investigators, or investigators found out that they had spent about 10 of the bullets that they stepped out with. The military guys, they do that. Yeah. You need to account for every bullet that you step out with. You write the things that you took out down, and when you come back, it's checked. When the checks were done, about 10 of the bullets had actually gone off. And according to our military police sources, the police guys explained that they were there to actually count tempers because they got the information that a few things were happening there. And then when they went there, the people started throwing stones at them. They got frightened. That's the word that we got. And so they ended up shooting, and then it led to these people being injured. In fact, the understanding that we get is that the gentleman who died, according to the autopsy report that was done at the Kwalibu Teaching Hospital, a copy of which we've seen, he died from what they describe as a fracture from a high velocity gunshot and also cerebral convulsion as a result of the gunshot. And so those are some of the details that we gathered from the military police on investigations. In fact, you also understand that the homicide unit of the police service are also undertaking a parallel investigation into the issue. Initially, it was being done by the Kasoa police, the Accra Regional Police took over, and it's been handed over to the homicide unit of the Ghana Police Service. Well, on the bit about the residents, the police claiming that the military guys claiming they were first attacked by the residents, I've been speaking to Sariku Tahiru. He's the Zongo chief of the area. He denies this and goes on to recount exactly what transpired leading to the said incident on the day that it happened. Let's listen to him.
Let's take a listen to that.
I was talking to one of the soldiers, and he pushed me back. So one guy, I'm about to ask, don't he respect soldier chiefs in his community? So that's when he started slapping the boy. He held the boy and pulled the boy forward and slapped him. And they gave a warning shot. And the second, I had a shout at my back. And the bullet hit one boy's leg. Before I said, I had another guy is down on the ground, dead. So we realized about 4 people were on the ground. So they went on with the demolition. From there, we invited the police in. The police came in, and the police led the soldiers to the police station. The district commander came in. The divisional commander also came in. The millennium city commander also came in. So they moved the soldiers to the police station and asked Asma to come to the police station. So when Asma came, he shook a hand with the soldiers for good work done, for killing somebody's son, for pulling the trigger, because there's no law in this country. Ghana is full of anarchy. And truly, he left the police station scot-free.
So those who got injured, those who were shot, what did you guys do with them on that day?
We took them to the the hospital. 3 were discharged, 1 dead. So I went to the military camp with my elders about 3 times.
What did you go and do there?
I went there, they asked me to write a statement. After the statement, I followed up 2 times. And they said they will call us, they will form a committee and let us know and meet us. Till now, a letter we heard, they said their people are free, they didn't commit any crime. Old women, children, the community as a whole were there. And you said people attacked you. Who attacked who? If really the military knows that they are coming to visit their land or site, why were they with arms? 2 or 3 men with arms. What intention do they have? What negative mind do they have against the community? So they came in arms. They came fully armed with ammo cars. They shot somebody's son down because of a property, fighting for his right. In Ghana, they say democracy, democracy. What is the democracy? Who is practicing democracy? Who is practicing democracy in this?
And that was the Zongo chief for the area, Sariki Tahiru. I'm hoping I got it right.
You got it right. You got it right.
Okay, so that was his account.
Yes.
And he's also saying that, well, that's not really what happened. What the military is saying transpired is not exactly what happened. But what has been the reaction of the family of the late
Michael Dakon? Yes, I've been speaking to his junior brother, Samuel Dakon. They are insisting that they are a bit disappointed with the outcome of the investigations by the military. The point he makes is that as far as they know, their brother was a very cool person, law-abiding person. He just went there because he has some plot of land in the area. He doesn't even live in the neighborhood. So when he heard that there were some skirmishes, he went there to check up on it. They don't believe the account that he may have been involved in any attack on the military guys, leading to him being shot and everything. In fact, they think that a more independent inquiry should actually be undertaken outside the remit of the police service itself. Themselves, they've actually made some approach trying to get details of what exactly has happened from the military police. It's been difficult. They've been asking for copies of the set final report into the investigation. That has also been difficult. So they're demanding for those so that then they could study them and take the appropriate steps on what
earlier they gave an indication they might be heading to court to seek justice. Are they still looking at pursuing that particular thing?
Exactly the case. You know, they actually have a lawyer working with them on this who's been trying to get details of the said investigation to decide on the way forward and all of that. So then it gives all of us the impression that just maybe they are really bent on getting that done once they get the full details that they want from the military guys themselves.
Right. Joseph, many thanks for your time on this morning. That was Joseph Opoku Gapo, and he's been bringing us the very latest on that very incident at Kasoa Millennium City, where 1 person was shot and killed when there was some violence late last year over a piece of land there. So we'll be keeping our eyes on this and we'll bring you a lot more subsequently. But time now for us to take a break here on News Desk. When we come back, we'll bring you a lot more stories. Stay with us.